Hey, what up? It's RKO Legend Killer 687 here for my Raw review tonight, July 19th, 2010. This was a pretty good Raw. Say that right off the bat. Some good matches, interesting promos, and some good segments. So let's get to it. We go. Cole and King welcome us to Oklahoma, and Mark Henry versus Wade Barrett is announced later in the night, and Nexus cannot interfere in the match. They're banned from ringside. And to kick off the show is a triple threat match, a number one contender triple threat match for the to become the number one contender for the WWE title. Randy Orton versus Edge versus Chris Jericho. This is a pretty good match. This is the first match of the show. It's like 20 minutes, I believe, close to that. Minus the stupid commercials. Edge, Y2J double teamed Orton in the beginning of the match. Big, nice counter by Orton and reversed the move. It was going to be a superplex into a double DDT, which was nice. Orton his rope assisted DDT on Y2J. Orton hits his backbreaker on Edge, and Codebreaker on Orton, but Edge breaks up the pin. Walls of Jericho on Orton. Edge breaks up and hits the execution. DDT on Jericho. Edge goes for the spear. Y2J counters into the walls. And then Edge hits the Edge-O-Matic on Orton for a 2 count. The movie won with Orton last week. And then they each hit each other with a clothesline, so it was like a triple clothesline, which is pretty cool. They were all down. And RKO was countered. Jericho goes for the lion saw. Orton misses. And then Orton drops Jericho with an RKO. And then Edge gets one for his troubles, too. And Orton covers Edge for the 3. Orton is your new number one contender for Sheamus' WWE title at SummerSlam. It's a really good match. Crowd was into it. Big pop for Orton. He just keeps getting more and more over as a face. I love him face or heel, but I just like how face, I mentioned it before, he doesn't pander to the crowd like Cena does and shit. He just takes care of his business and just does his shit. So that was good. So that's one match already set for SummerSlam. So we go to commercial. And then this is where it started to get interesting. Back from commercial, Edge was still in the ring, and he was like, he was on the mic, and he was calling Jericho back out. He was saying, we've cost each other countless championships over our career, and it's like been 11 years of this, and it needs to stop. It ends tonight. And Jericho comes out, and he's like, what the hell is this? What do you want? It's like, what is this about, or whatever? And Jericho gets in the ring and he says, he could end Edge's career tonight, not cut years off it, end it tonight by just calling Nexus out here and whoop Edge's ass. And Edge says Nexus would probably disagree, and sure enough, out comes Nexus. And Wade Barrett gets on the mic and says, Edge is like, Jericho's right, and so they whoop at Edge's ass, and Skip Sheffield hit like a huge spear on Edge. And then Jericho locks in the walls on Edge, and then then he realizes as he lets go, Nexus is just staring him down, so he's about to get beat down too. And Barrett says, Edge was right too. He says he doesn't like how Barrett doesn't like how Jericho's proclaiming that he's the person behind all of Nexus's attacks and whatnot. And Jericho hits Barrett and goes for him, and they just beat him down. And Tonga hits his finisher on him. So Jericho's laid out in the ring. As we go to commercial, Jericho's laid out in the middle of the ring, and Edge is just out on the outside, laid out. Back from commercial, Nexus is backstage heading to the locker room, and Josh Matthews stops Wade Barrett and asks him for an interview. And he said, he's like, how do you think you'll fare tonight against Mark Henry, seeing how Nexus, isn't there or whatever? And Barrett was like, are you quivering in your boots right now? And he didn't answer. Josh Matthews didn't answer. He was like, I asked you a bloody question. And Josh Matthews like, yes, sir, I am. It's kind of funny. Wade Barrett, man, he's fucking great. He's great on the mic. He's got build. He's the total package in my opinion. Future world champion without question. I really like the guy. He's good stuff. So, and Barrett says, you know, Nexus, each of us are just as talented individually as we are as a cohesive unit. And tonight, Mark Henry will, like, find that out or something like that. I didn't catch it. And then Sheamus walks up and says he's got like an offer, a proposal for Nexus. And Barrett's like, why don't we talk in my locker room or whatever? And Sheamus is like, I think I'll stay out here. And Barrett was like, all right, I'll be right back or whatever. So he went to the locker room. And then Cena, they show him backstage, and King and Cole are talking to him from ringside, and Cena says, you know, Nexus has cost him everything in the last month or so since they arrived, and says he can't beat them. Says tonight he wants Wade Barrett and Nexus in the ring because he's got something to say, and he says if you can't beat him, and then before he says and join him, he just walks away. And the crowd started to boo. And at that point, I was like, holy shit, Cena, heel turn, possibly. I was really hoping it happened, but I'll get to that later. So we go to commercial. And then back from commercial, Eve is walking to the ring. So it's Eve and Maurice with Ted DiBiase. So it's Eve versus Maurice. And Eve wins, but in a really short match. But Maurice had her foot in the bottom rope, and the ref didn't see it. So DiBiase came in the ring after and was like arguing the ref, cornering him. And John Morrison came out and attacked him, and he hit Starship Pain, but it looked like he like completely missed him. He maybe got him with his arm or whatever, but DiBiase sold it well. So yeah, kind of a fuck up on Morrison there. And so yeah, that was that little segment. And then Sheamus is walking backstage, and then commercial. And back from commercial, Sheamus head into the ring, and you know, Sheamus says, let the record show that he's beaten Cena in a table match, a fatal four-way, and now a cage match. And he says Cena's in the past, and he's not getting another WWE title shot for some time, which is good to hear. I mean, he doesn't deserve another one, let's face it. And then Sheamus says he and Nexus, I guess they talked earlier. They didn't show him talking with Barrett, so I guess he talked with Wade Barrett and Nexus earlier, and basically Sheamus said, I won't get in your business, and you don't get in mine. So they have a truce, I guess. So Sheamus and Nexus have a truce together, and then Sheamus says Orton doesn't stand a chance at SummerSlam. And then Miz comes onto the ring, and he didn't have a ref with him, so it didn't look like he was cashing in his contract. But he has his briefcase with him, but he gets in the ring, and says, Sheamus, you have a new problem. And he says, I'll be watching everything you do, like every step you take or whatever. It's like, I'm going to be watching you like a hawk to like strike at the right moment or whatever. And Sheamus says, and Miz was about to say, because I'm the Miz and I'm awesome, and Sheamus cut him off, says, I'm Sheamus and I'm the WWE champion, and leaves the ring. And an email from the GM comes in and says, Miz may want to sit around and watch this match. He's thinking about cashing in his Money in the Bank contract tonight because Sheamus is in action next. And so it's Sheamus versus Evan Bourne. But it took Bourne to come out for like 30 seconds or so, at least, because I guess he came out with his wrist tape and he was still getting ready for the match before he even got in the ring, which is kind of funny. So he obviously didn't know about it. So it's Sheamus versus Evan Bourne. Sheamus wins in a pretty good match with his pump kick or bro kick or whatever he calls it. I don't know, but he wins with that nasty pump kick. And after the match, Miz hits Sheamus with the briefcase twice, and then he's trying to hit the skull crushing finale, and he's struggling with it, but he finally nails it, and he looks like he really got it right on the briefcase to Sheamus, and Sheamus was out, and Miz was looking, and he's like, all right, he's out. I'm cashing this shit in. And so he gives the briefcase to ref. He's like, I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank contract. Rips off his shirt. He gets ready. But I guess your opponent has to be up off the ground, I guess, for it to happen. So the bell never rung. So and because R-Truth ended up coming out and attacking Miz, so the bell never rung. So Miz still has his Money in the Bank opportunity. Stick around for part 2, guys.